look or a new style that was going to break through on Laser Kittenz.
Yeah.
Laser Kittenz, at least at the first here, as we're seeing their lineup manifest, it does look like Kib is going to be flexing over to the D.Va with Krems on the Soldier. So appears they're going to play a very passive defense with this, trying to control that high ground with the Ana and then use Kib and Mozasa to double back and fly back in order to protect Krems.
Meanwhile, eUnited looks like Unfix getting ready to throw that Sonic Arrow out. Pretty typical dive comp coming from them.
Yeah,
overall, though.
I expect we're going to see the D.Va here. They should be expecting Krems to go back to that Soldier, but they may not be ready for Kib on that D.Va simultaneously because much more defensive style of composition than we saw from Laser Kittenz in the last map.
We'll find out. Here we go. Probably going to see that D.Va, yeah.
Just getting a peek around the corner right here and
checking it out.
Just throwing around a right click, and they should be pulling back pretty soon.
Yeah. All right, Crew's taking the high ground right away, and yeah, Laser Kittenz should be falling back there. Not too much, though. And Cruz may have a good opportunity here to get some kills. Yeah, dashes through the team, gets a lot of damage done, but no kills. Doesn't find the pick. First one might be coming in soon, though. Munchkin finds one on Valataya, so good start for Laser Kittenz right off the bat. Yeah, and Krems grabs another one on the boombox. eUnited going to be forced back right off the bat, and this forward defense for Laser Kittenz working out pretty well so far.
Yeah, you normally wouldn't see this either. Almost always you'd have them pull back onto the high ground right above point A and try and defend there with this particular composition and just swap the Winston and the D.Va onto the forward high ground across from the point, and then they can just jump back if necessary, but they are going way aggressive with this.
Well, yeah, eUnited tries to get the back lines. Laser Kittenz immediately needs to respond, pulls the tanks back. Valatai on the low ground, meanwhile. Ooh, there's a kill, actually, on a couple of the members of Laser Kittenz. So that dive for eUnited working out. They were able to get in there and get past some of the defenses from Laser Kittenz, and that payload is finally going to start moving.
So Laser Kittenz did lose Krems early, but Krems got so much damage down that he already has a tactical visor. So the advantage of Laser Kittenz forward defense and the fact that they won the first fight with this composition means that they are going to have ultimates available here on the high ground. Gray will quickly be getting that nano boost as well, so they should be able to clear this out unless they get another bad pick off early. Cruz looking for an opportunity to use that Dragon Blade, though.
We'll see. Payload still moving, finally contested at the moment. Gray coming in, gets an nano boost, I believe. Yeah, on to Krems, pops attack visor, but he's in the corner, having to face that primal raging Winston, finally pushes him away. But that uses up basically 2 ultimates for Laser Kittenz, and they have lost a few members themselves. eUnited pushing forward pretty strong here. If they can clean up this fight, they can definitely take point A.
Transcendence right in the face, just a big mess in that corridor.
Fixed. Out of the mech and out of this push for the moment anyway, and that's going to buy some time for Laser Kittenz maybe to delay this a little bit longer, but at this point you kind of maybe want to give this one up because you want to get set up for the streets phase. We'll see how aggressive they want to be in trying to defend this. I think they're going to lose it now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Laser Kittenz with a lot of members down, and they may have a hard time setting up their defense here in Hangar.
Yeah, and because we're seeing a lot of these support swaps come through, Gray going to be playing the Lucio, which is not normally what he does. Now finally goes over to that Zenyatta. Crusade back onto the Lucio now, so trying to reset absolutely everything, but they're going to have to give up a lot of ground. And credit to eUnited on that push. They left one person onto the payload and then clogged the choke points on the upper level. They were very ready for that tack visor and handled it well.
It was really Sharik and Unfix getting in there. Yeah, completely zoning out Soldier 76 that ended up winning them that fight. Laser Kittenz coming down now, trying to make a difference. Krems retreating a little bit. There's the Transcendence for eUnited. So this fight stalled out for the moment, and that lets him get in there onto Krems and Gray. eUnited really rolling forward strong now.
Oh, it's so hard to stop this. Laser Kittenz invested so much in that initial defense, and there's a lot of reasons why we don't typically see those compositions try and play that far forward, and because you are vulnerable to a lot more flanks in that particular space. And with Krems going down, even though he had that tack visor, it gave eUnited the time to retake the high ground on point A. Once they take that, easy to take shuttle in point B and just push it all the way through.
Yeah, Sharik, they've got the sound barrier. He's going to go Primal Rage again, just to try to clear the way. Almost a little bit of spawn camping there for him. Krems not getting a lot done with that tack visor again. They've been so ready for him on that Soldier 76 so far this game. And eUnited again, winning this one pretty overwhelmingly. Kib the last to fall. D.Va really hasn't been a big issue for eUnited at all, and they're going to easily take point B. And, you know, if you go back to that point A defense, too, it seems like they kept streaming people in there a little bit too long, too.
Yeah, they're losing their composure a bit.
Yeah.
But back to Unfix, we talk about, was he going to step up on this D.Va? But so far at Gibraltar, he has been in exactly the right places at the right time, gets up onto that high ground, and just has nullified most of the important soldier damage and tac visors that have come out.
Catch anybody? Nope, not quite. But he did force Laser Kittens into that little room. Transcendence comes in now. We'll see if Gray can keep everybody up. Looks like he's doing okay at it so far. Cruz waiting, just building up that ultimate. There's going to be the Primal Rage from Alzasa.
That was a really preemptive Transcendence and Primal Rage. They're kind of falling apart right now with 3 minutes still left to go. Laser Kittens waste some ultimates that could have been of great use to them later on. Panicking, I think, a bit when Unfixed self-destruct came through.
Definitely seeing some composure being lost here. eUnited trying to push in with their Transcendence. They're going to meet the sound barrier of Laser Kittens. They're going to try to turn this fight around. Yeah, lost a couple members before it even took effect.
Wow, that's really rough. Those are big ultimates now that are down on the side of Laser Kittens, and nothing really preventing eUnited from keeping on just rolling through here on Gibraltar.
You know, it's very similar to what we saw against Movistar Riders, where it's really the planning with the support ultimates that's making the difference in this match. There's other factors too, but it's definitely one that stands out.
Absolutely, and look at what we've got coming in. There's the sound barrier, and the Dragon Blade is ready. They should be able just to push this one right through.
They are so ready for this. He's got to get some kills with it. I guess Unfixed and Valutaya shoring up the weakness, and we're going to pause it. No! What? All right, well, we'll just take a little break and chat about this more.
Just a couple meters to go, and very, very close.
Right in the final hour. But yeah, Laser Kittens looking a little discombobulated.
Yeah, they're looking really shaken right now.
Well, and here's the thing, and one thing I was going to say going back to the previous map is Laser Kittens on boy, I guess it wasn't. They played dive on one of the points. And I'm so focused on Gibraltar now that it's all gone. But when you can beat them at your own game, that's good. And of course, if anyone can play dive, it's eUnited, and they're showing that right here. They're playing the 2-2 dive in this case. They've been playing a little bit more back earlier on in the day. In the streamed matches, they were playing that disengage, re-engage. They've stepped it up a little notch with aggressiveness, and they've dived the choke points, and they're really taking the fight to Laser Kittens here. And Laser Kittens, they're not responding well.
No, they're not. And it seems like Laser Kittens' communication is really focused around when to use the tac visor, and every time eUnited has known when the tac visor is up and has just deleted it from the map with by jumping in there with Primal Rage or by using the defensive matrix, and they eliminated the first nano visor as well. And after that happens, it seems like Laser Kittens doesn't know what to do.
Yeah. On Gibraltar specifically right now, I think we're seeing very good strategic adaptability for Team Reunited, and by that, what I mean, if you look at that first point defense, Laser Kittens is trying to be very aggressive with it, so eUnited loses that first fight, and then they go, all right, fine, we're just going to dive you really, really hard, and they just go right over the tanks. You immediately see Laser Kittens try to bring everybody back, but it's already too late. Some of the squishy members have gone down, and then it's an easy push to point A.
Yeah, and there's a difference in adaptation between adapting your play and how you're playing and what you're playing. And some teams, they immediately react by trying to figure out, well, what composition can we play that's going to counter or do well with what we're seeing here. But eUnited, they've been a little bit more consistent with what they're playing, but they've been able to show multiple facets of that to deal with the various things that they're seeing. And Laser Kittens, well, they're definitely going to be showing you multiple things.
And when you talk about adapting the style of the play, they just haven't given Laser Kittens what they need, which is high ground control. Yeah. And that just hasn't happened. They've been bottling up in the doorways heading into the high ground, and that basically got them free pushes through A and B.
I mean, when you go so hard on your point A defense, you're not going to get a good point B defense, and that's what we saw. Meanwhile, back in the action right now, there goes Kib. There goes Kib's mechs too. Oh no, eUnited continuing to push. Krems, again, tac visor forced back into a little corridor, just not getting a whole lot done with this. Transcendence from eUnited anyway, so they're not going to take damage. Crusade goes down to the self-destruct, and eUnited looks like they're still cruising forward. They've got another fight to deal with now. The spawns are going to come in fast and furious here. Valutaya trying to keep Gray zoned in.
Trying to get Krems there on the side. That's going to be an easy kill, but they still have to deal with this D.Va and having her lose the mech and try and re-mech onto the points. This may be slowed down just a tad.
could be. Munchkin trying to make a difference, but 3 health, 1 health, no health. Laser Kittens, though, meanwhile, the other members getting some progress, and United does end up having to pull back a little bit.
Yeah, I think Laser Kittens was really on the razor edge there. Sherrick had the Primal Rage and was knocking Krems back through the door during the tack visor again, and another soldier ult that really wasn't too effective. It's going to be a regroup now, too, from eUnited, as you can see. Very low on that ult economy, but they'll have the sound barrier and the Dragon Blade up again soon. So that's the combo they've got to use to make it work.
Well, and speaking of regroup, hey, how's it going? Nice to see you again.
We don't need to regroup. We're always ready.
We're always ready. Well,
we're always ready to fill any amount of time. Like we've been doing
infinite amount of time.
Remember, even if I'm not, even if I don't seem like I'm there, left guy is there. Okay.
We came from other games where you have to fill time even when the game isn't paused. So we've got a lot of experience.
We've got it.
Yeah,
well, I wanted to actually pick up right where we left off with high ground and the fact that D.Va is so important in that factor. Because, of course, you know, you bring 76 as eUnited has been wont to bring in the past. You can't necessarily control that high ground nearly as well in this circumstance. But having unfixed on that D.Va is a huge X factor there, and you could see how it really stuffed Laser Kittens where they were.
And I'm really interested to see where this series goes, because Laser Kittens, they came out with their map pick, coming out on Oasis, and showed some very strong strategies. eUnited adapting well here, shutting down the Soldier 76 and the high ground control of Laser Kittens. And so if we do end up seeing eUnited win this map, the question is it seems like a no-brainer to me that's going to be a Hanamura pick for Laser Kittens, which has been their sort of expertise in terms of those assault maps. So it could be really interesting to see like a lot of specialized strategies and strengths going back and forth over the course of this series.
And it actually highlights the importance of just the map order, and winning that first map gives you a pretty big upper hand because, of course, coming into this one, you're not going to be able to pick the map, but coming into Assault, now you've got the third map choice, and it can snowball a little bit. And specifically when you talk about Hanamura, if Laser Kittens is going to be the team that could potentially bring out more unique strategies and already has actually on Hanamura, well, it's definitely a reason that I'd want to watch it. Looks like we are having some ISP-related issues. The internet. I've never had a problem with my internet, so I don't know why these guys can't get it together.
That's something I'm adapting to, being back in the U.S. again. In Korea, we didn't really have to worry about this kind of thing. But you know, it's just kind of a
I feel bad
reverse culture shock.
Like having been to Korea, there's like a few very, very shallow reasons that I would actually really want to move. There's a lot of non-shallow reasons that I would consider that a potential place to live.
I understand
but there are some, but there are some very shallow reasons, and that is one. You know, one of them is the ping.
That's the one.
Shallow.
Okay.
All right.
The food would be another pretty shallow reason.
No, I don't think that's shallow at all. Food and internet are both great reasons.
You know, and they are a pretty big part of my life. Probably too big, arguably. But yeah, no, and but we'll see how that goes down, and that's one thing that. It's hard to say whether or not they're even going to be able to fix it, but Laser Kittens...
Don't be all doom and gloom on us.
Listen,
come on.
Without Hex
we'll
out
get
here,
this we'll finish this match. Don't worry.
I believe. Yeah, it looks like we're just restarting routers.
All right.
But let's just talk a little bit about Laser Kittens here. You know, on their first defense, they tried that high ground defense on the very front part of the first, and it worked at the first pushback. They were able to push back the first assaults. But then as soon as eUnited saw that, they dove up top and were able to stop them.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just really good adaptability from, I think, honestly, both of these teams right now. But on Gibraltar, at least at this point, it's been all eUnited.
Yeah, it has to do with the threat assessment, too, because it was surprising that Laser Kittens was able to take that first fight. But out of that, what's impressive about eUnited is they realized how much ult charge Krems got on that soldier, and then as they continued to push forward, they were ready for the nano visor coming into play, and they preempted that. And I think that's what we've seen from eUnited today is just a superior knowledge of enemy cooldowns and where to position as a result.
Yeah, and ult cooldowns on that regard, because, well, you've seen how that can negatively affect your team when you're not able to pop those ultimates at the right time. We've even seen some late and early ultimates from Laser Kittens here, and it looks like they're crumbling apart, but that's a matter of seconds, potentially, as far as decision quality that's leaving them where they are right now.
Yep. I mean, yeah, going back to the Soldier 76 thing, it's if you're eUnited and you're like, Soldier shot us a lot that last fight, and we haven't seen him for a while. And there's a, that high ground is a pretty good place to attack visor from. It's like, all right, so save your charge, save your leap, and I think we have a pretty good idea of what's coming. We're gonna need that.
Well, some of it too is that Laser Kittens has been a bit stubborn when it comes to, they swapped out their support roles for, at the end of point A. But when we see Kib and his success on this Genji, maybe you start thinking about swapping the Diva back over to Krems, putting Kib on the Genji again, so at least you have more maneuverability and you aren't quite so tied to making your way up to the high ground and also so vulnerable to Unfixed's Diva.
It's interesting to me because I feel like we saw in Oasis, we saw eUnited be a little bit unflexible or inflexible, however you want to say it, in the way that they approached University. They kept trying the same thing, it didn't work out. Now we're kind of seeing the same thing from Laser Kittens. So it's good for us.
And it's a hard line to draw,
match,
right? It's a hard line to draw. It's easy as a spectator to say, well, they should just switch every time, but obviously they can't switch every time. You can't switch anytime something doesn't work. And they thought, going in, okay, well, that didn't work the first time, we can do it again. But then after it doesn't work a second time, you really need to start rethinking it.
It looked to me like they didn't necessarily have a backup plan because the swaps were quite odd. And they didn't lose too much ult charge, but there were multiple support swaps that happened in a very short period of time. And, Gray running back on the Lucio, which definitely could have just been a factor of trying to get back to that point A quickly using the speed boost. I'd have to take a look at it again. Yeah. But there was a lot of internal swapping there that seemed to infer a level of disagreement or confusion.
Yeah, they were scrambling a little bit. Yeah, they were not necessarily on the same page. Things were not going according to the plan. Well, speaking of things not going according to the plan, ISP issues are plaguing us right now. We're going to give them a few minutes to make sure that they can get these worked out. So we're going to go to a short break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes for more Overwatch Contenders EU playoffs. Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for bearing with us. We do have Kib back in the game, so we're going to be going back into Gibraltar. If you are just recently joining us, though, we are in the semifinals, looking for one more team to face off against 1, 2, 3 in the finals, and it's Laser Kittens versus eUnited.
Hey.
And right now, eUnited, they're trying to get
out of here, left guy. I got to cast this game. I'm sorry, you're okay. We like you. You can cast with us anytime, except right now. Well, eUnited rather, still trying to push his payload. It's been very close to the end of Gibraltar for a long time. Sound barrier for Laser Kittens. Ooh, they layered their support ultimates there. That's not super great. Balataya, nothing with the pulse bomb. Looking for a bit more kills. He can maybe pop D.Va out of that mech. But it is frantic right now. Everybody's trying to figure out what was going on, I think, on both teams and on the desk.
Yeah, we're trying to just get our legs back under us again, but Laser Kittens, it looks like they will hold, at least for the time being. Munchkin trying to find a pulse bomb pick on the flank. Kib back in, and players will be, I believe, allowed to sub out players in between maps, but not during the map. So Laser Kittens, of course, has a deep bench. They choose to use it for future maps.
Yeah, they still have Claris, of course, who would fit into that role. Laser Kittens getting a couple of early kills as we go into overtime. eUnited suddenly a little bit frantic to try to push this one the rest of the way. It's been a good push, but they'd prefer to get it a little bit quicker, a little bit farther rather, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Krems finally gets the attack visor he was looking for. Unopposed, there's the self-destruct to make sure nobody else comes through, and Laser Kittens hold eUnited to 2 points, even after that awkwardness with Kib and his internet connection. GG.
Yeah, comes back, at least got the self-destruct back up to make sure everybody was zoned out at the end. So Laser Kittens surprisingly holding that. So still an opportunity for them here to make a push all the way through point C. Kib looks like he will be on the Genji, at least for the start of this map. And eUnited looks like they'll be posting up on defense with unfixed on that Soldier 76. Wow, that dancing Winston is fantastic.
I love it. I love how nearly every map in Overwatch tournaments start with somebody watching Winston dance on something. That's kind of how it is now.
How can you not like Winston doing the twist?
You can't not like it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad everybody's enjoying it then.
That lighthouse. I feel bad for the guy that lives out there. He's been trying to phone people that there's like this space monkey living in Gibraltar for like years, and nobody believes him. It's like, oh, it's just crazy Tad at the lighthouse.
They probably
talking about his space monkey that he's seeing across the bay again.
Been out there so long, he started hallucinating.
I know. Someday we'll relieve Tad in the lighthouse off the coast of Gibraltar, but not this day. Everyone's afraid to go out there now. Who knows what he's going to do? It's the next member of Overwatch, Crazy Tad.
Is that your spoiler for the new hero release?
That's right, yep. He's got like a light that he just shines on people to blind them or something.
That would be really annoying to play.
Yeah. Well, they've got flashbangs in other games, trying to bring the concept to Overwatch.
Turn your screen white temporarily.
There you go. Who doesn't love that? Hey, it's better than being like punched in GoldenEye, right? Where the screen went all like blurry and stuff. And that was on N64 where everything was already blurry. So it was extra bad. I'll take the flashbang any day. eUnited on the defense now. Here comes Laser Kittens trying to get their push going.
Yeah, they're trying to check for the flank attack there, possibility with that Sonic Arrow. Quick swap back over, though. So Laser Kittens running a triple DPS composition here on the offense, and they will be facing the same opposition here on the defense, except for Boombox on the Ana, so that they can clean up with the Nano Boost attack visor. And they will be playing very far back here, but no D.Va to prevent against the dive. So they have to be very careful about this. If Laser Kittens is coordinated, they could take out that Soldier very quickly.
Well, no D.Va on either side, which is pretty shocking. I don't think I've seen a game without a D.Va in a long, long time. Munchkin trying to hold the door. There, I did it again. That is not a Game of Thrones reference. So it's not intentional.
Just coordinated pullback, though, inside the doorway and making sure that Tracer not going to get a lot of time to spam through using that rewind quite early, and Unfixed is going to get the kill into Mozasa, and that will push Laser Kittens back as they wait for that respawn. Even though Tracer took the long flank up onto the high ground, not really going to be too effective. See what Munchkin can do with the Pulse Bomb, though.
Sure enough, looking for those targets.
Winston right on the other side, though. He's going to have a hard time with this. Does have the Orb of Harmony now for that survivability, but they've got to make this play work.
Still plenty of time. About 2:30 left on the clock there. And Mozasa does jump down on the payload, trying to get that moving a little bit at least.
Oh, they got Boombox.
Oh.
Munchkin did it, but does end up killing himself at the same time.
Yeah, well, they're both going to get back at about the same time, too. You know, maybe Munchkin will get back a little bit quicker.
This will protect us.
This is all about choke control for both teams right now.
Yeah.
Nobody really wanting to get the start off of this one. That's not going to be a successful pulse bomb. Krem's going to take out Sherrick in the meantime.
Gray on the run. Got the Discord down onto Volataya. Meanwhile, sound barrier for Krems now as Laser Kittens tries to push in. Volataya getting low. He had the Discord orb on him again. Got the kill on Gray, though, so that's gone. Kib pushing forward. eUnited. They've taken out a couple members of Laser Kittens, though, so Kib maybe with this. Yeah, 2 kills with the Dragon Blade. And that is going to certainly help things out. eUnited losing members. But you know what? With the Primal Rage from Sharik, that's actually going to be enough to push Laser Kittens back a bit.
Well, they did leave Krems a bit high and dry there inside of server, so comeback kill's not going to be enough. Transcendence immediately going through, though, as Mozasa dies.
Yeah, a little bit late, though. Doesn't keep anyone alive. He has to back off without really getting any benefit from that ultimate. Attack visor for Krems, though. Wow, he wants to be the one-man army here. Does get the kill onto Morty, and he is pushing this thing, man. He's got Munchkin to help him out, but that was attack visor at the right time. And we talked about what happens when that Diva isn't there to absorb it. And that's what happens.
Yeah, all you got is the reflect. And even though he got his own Helix rocket reflected back onto him by the peak around the corner from Cruz.
Yeah, check out Kib, see what he did with his Dragon Blade.
Yeah, he's taking out Boombox right away. Did allow a small amount of time to regroup, but mostly just the attack visor and the fact that everybody had to stream through those doors against it. So finally, Krems gets his opportunity to play from up high.
Yep.
Cruz, he's been very patient today with these Dragon Blades, holding on to them for quite a long time and looking for that perfect opportunity.
Oh, going aggressive. Crusade goes down. Volataya has that Pulse Bomb in reserve if he needs to use it, so Laser Kittens stymied a bit, and this is exactly what eUnited needs. They needed time to get set up here in Hangar Phase. This is a phase that's really hard to defend against, and they may actually be able to burn a good amount of time here.
So comes in. Looks like Laser Kittens is preparing for the attack visor. They switched over to the Diva on Krem, so they're trying to shut that down, preempt the ultimate by switching up their team composition.
Yep, here we go. Cruz with the Dragon Blade. Crusade goes down, looking for a bit more. Manages to pop the Diva out. Krem's mech does go down. eUnited, big defensive hold here. And I don't think that Munchkin is going to be able to do too much. Eats a Helix rocket on the way out. And eUnited really starting to put together a strong hold and Hangar.
And again, just using the right amount of cooldowns in order to make that fight work. Unfix does not have to use the attack visor, and they clean up with that delayed Dragon Blade. Cruz may not be making big statistics on the number of Dragon Blades that he's getting in matches, but they have been extremely impactful and used in coordination well with the rest of his team.
Mozasa coming up top along with Krems. Unfix has to be a bit careful, but he's got enough damage. They have to back away. They have to protect the rest of their team. Transcendence comes in, Munchkin. Another Transcendence now for eUnited. There's a Pulse Bomb. No kills from that, though, as it didn't really hit anybody. Went wide. The payload moving now a little bit. So Laser Kittens has managed to kind of put eUnited in an awkward spot, but they leave. They leave the payload to chase people down. And that may end up actually costing them, as they're the ones who end up losing people to eUnited.
Yeah, Kib just trying to use that Dragon Blade. Gray also committing the Transcendence. But like we saw earlier from eUnited, they have been very good at that target selection of melting tanks early. There's a bit of a trouble keeping the front line alive for Laser Kittens in this match.
You know, I do feel like Laser Kittens does overcommit to the dive sometimes. I feel like they do overchase, and it does kind of cost them once in a while. Coming back in with the sound barrier now. See if they can maybe get their push going again.
Beat's been dropped, but Unfixed is taken out with that attack visor, so Cruz has to do the work with another Dragon Blade.
Oh, goes after Gravy right away. Gray right away. Cruz gets 2 with the Dragon Blade. Good start to the defense again for eUnited. I've been so tempted to say Gravy all night, and I finally said it. I look at his name. My vision's not very good, so sometimes I say Gravy. Maybe I'm just hungry. I don't know.
Well, I think that's going to be about it.
Yeah, I was going to say either way.
The tac visor is up there. The Diva has been desuited. There is nothing to block this right now.
Yep.
If you're Laser Kittens, you don't have any support ults to really stop this from absolutely shredding you. So it's going to be into the fire line here.
Now Gray and the rest of the team, last-ditch effort. Follow Taya harassing from behind, and we're into overtime. Sharik and Cruz already with kills at the beginning of all this, so eUnited already a strong defensive start, and yep, looks like they're going to probably be taking Gibraltar. It's going to take a miracle to change it, and I don't think that's coming through. Not with a team kill. That is it. eUnited ties up the series 1-1 with a win on Gibraltar.
And Laser Kittens, unfortunately, being plagued by those internet problems. Don't know how much that was actually affecting them throughout the course of the map and whether they will be actually making that substitution moving forward. But regardless, eUnited showing that discipline we saw in their quarterfinal maps and rolling to a pretty easy win on Escort.
Yeah. And these teams, in the end, are looking pretty close. Let's see what Sharik's play of the game is. These glasses. It's going to be... Oh, yeah, there was that dive. This is where eUnited decided they just had to go hard to break the defense, and hey, as you can see, worked out pretty well, didn't it?
Yeah, the second play of the game there, and not play of the second. It doesn't matter. You understand what I'm saying? No, but yeah, and this one to me was all about that high grounds because unfixed, whether he was on Diva contesting high ground with the rest of his team, obviously, or whether he was just on 76, having free range of high ground on first and second, Laser Kittens never dealt with it properly.
Well, and that's the danger that we saw there is that we saw Sharik just raking three of the squishy members with that Tesla cannon and the backup there from the Diva and the defensive matrix. And if you play that defense further back, at least you have a doorway. At least you have a choke point to work with, right? Where if you fall back, you can spam the doorway or there is space to retreat. There wasn't any space to retreat unless they wanted to fall down off the high ground right there, really. So Winston doing an immense amount of damage and not taking any return with the bubble and defensive matrix up.
I like the aggression from Laser Kittens, but eUnited seems to be handling it so well that the aggression is starting to turn a little bit into over-aggression, which is something that eUnited is pretty good at punishing, as we could see. So moving on to the next map, I want to see Laser Kittens kind of rein it back in a little bit, be more selective about when they go in, and maybe we can see them kind of bring things back around.
Yeah, part of me thinks that maybe they're overthinking things a little bit. They know a little bit of what the problem is, but they're just not finding the right solutions. And so they're throwing things at it, and when it's not working, they think, well, maybe we just need to throw it a little harder. Throw harder, LK is what I'm trying to say. No, but and a great example of that is they were trying to contest the high ground on first near glass, and I think there was like a Genji and a Tracer trying to